Make sure you add Masti to your lives. Download the app today and stay energized and connected on the go. Radio Masti 24/7 Live, Singapore's only Bollywood radio since 2009. Oh yeah. Josh
A very good evening and welcome Radio Masti 24/7, and this is Entrepreneurs on Fire. In case you guys are wondering where I was yesterday, you know very well that I could not be live on Masti AVI because I was crazily, just totally going, I would say, mad on air during my show, shortlisting for Singapore Mein Bharat Ki Khoj, which is, of course, a special fun quiz on the occasion of 72nd Republic Day of India. लेकिन उसी के साथ में of course there is other bit that always remains is my excitement to see you guys on Tuesdays when I'm not on air, right? And that's when I get to meet you, and not only you, I get to bring a special guest for you who makes our evening totally exciting. Now what's happening on the radio right now is Masti Geet Mala with the summer, but I'm sure you want to hear this conversation because this is very special, guys. And why is this conversation going to be special? Well, that is because आज के दिन में हम लेकर आ रहे हैं आपके लिए एक खास entrepreneur. You know how it happens most of the times. We meet entrepreneurs, we just move on, and we say, aha, this person's lucky. No, there is nothing called luck. I mean, there is something called luck, but there's nothing called luck alone. There is a lot of hard work. There is a lot of effort. There is a lot of, I would say, energy. There is a lot of thought that goes behind every entrepreneur who decides to come out of the cushy job or maybe the comfort of the home and establish something, which of course takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of dedication. And then comes something like the pandemic. So what happens then? Well, then of course the entrepreneur sits back and thinks, what hit? There's chaos, there is confusion, there is a lot of other stuff that happens around. But this person decides never to give up. And that is exactly what an entrepreneur is all about. हम बोलते हैं ना हमेशा that there is one very popular saying that goes something like, everyone can tell you the risk, but only an entrepreneur can see the reward. You have to have a very positive outlook. You have to have the determination, the trust, and definitely the courage to move forward. And on that note, guys, I'm going to be inviting my guest for today, who is not only going to be sharing her story throughout whatever she has done, and of course is doing an amazing work when it comes to languages and making the future for tomorrow, but also at the same time somebody who lived through the pandemic and has come out stronger.
Make sure you add Masti to your lives. Download the app today and stay energized and connected on the go. Radio Masti 24/7 Live, Singapore's only Bollywood radio since 2009. Oh yeah.
And may I request Aysha, of course, I was just going to say, just take your mute off. But yes, I would like to introduce you, Aysha, as the founder of the ABCs of Tamil for Kids.
Hi, Renuka. Hi, Renuka. Thank you. Very happy to be here today.
Hi, and it's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Aysha, I know you don't speak Hindi, so this conversation will be in Hindi.
Good luck having me answer them.
Well, and we are hoping that by the end of it, you will speak Hindi and I will speak Tamil. How's that?
Let's try.
Well, you said you make it easy for people, right? And you make it easy for kids. So why not me? I hope to learn as well.
Actually, we could. There are a lot of adults who are actually using my materials to learn. Some of whom are like say multiracial families, or say one parent is Tamil and the other is non-Tamil. They have actually been learning using my materials alongside their children, because a lot of them are bilingual and and some come with audio capabilities. So hey, why not?
Okay, so let's see who learns what faster. All right. So once again, welcome to Entrepreneurs on Fire. Aysha, I read about your story and I was intrigued. I was really looking forward to seeing you, and of course at the same time learn from you, founder to founder, chaos to chaos, uh, people to people, and help to help, and of course then at the same time hold hands and move forward, right? So Aisha, how did your journey all start? You were born in Singapore, right?
Yes, I'm born and bred in Singapore, and Tamil has always been a passion since secondary school. I
Oh,
was always heavily involved in Indian cultural activities. I was in our school's orchestra and taken part a lot of oratorical and debates, and I even did literature growing up in secondary school. So
okay.
Tamil has always been an integral part of who I have been, and I'm still am. And one of the major drives that actually started the whole ABCs of Tamil for
Mhm.
kids is to ensure that this love and passion for Tamil that me and my peers have
Right.
continues with the children of today's generation, and they stop feeling that it's more of a burden or a chore or a must do for school.
That
Yes,
is
we
true.
also had to do it for school. That was probably what started it off. But however, you need to have an interest that's beyond that, so that it continues and the language grows and stays alive, and it all lies in the hands of the future. And as a parent and as someone who has learned Tamil through her childhood, I would like to ensure that it stays through the generation. So
I think
that
it's very
was how it
important.
came.
Yes,
Yes,
you're right.
definitely.
Because we have to preserve our culture wherever we are,
That's
and
true.
what we do, for example, Radio Masti
Mm-hmm.
is also, it all started with, having Hindi as a language, which
Mm-hmm.
is slowly kind of fading off because a lot of us who are living overseas don't
Yeah.
really, one, have the subject in schools
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
colleges.
true.
And
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, of course, at home, it's always easy to start speaking English, right? And then
True.
forgetting everything. So I think that's a wonderful thing. So how did the idea really come about, and how when was it that you decided to have a business, to kind of
Well, it
bring
started off as a pseudo hobby, say about 5 years ago. But 2 years into it, I figured that, no, I'm going to bring this to the next level. And we developed our bilingual flashcards. And that was kind of how it went to the next step as a solid business per se. And I'm happy to say that it's been growing quite steadily ever since.
That's wonderful. So when you thought of this as an idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did were there people, because normally when somebody thinks of an idea, there's always some people who will show you the risks, right? Like I
Yes.
introduced in the beginning, there's always people who would kind of give you the other side. I wouldn't say that they are
Mhm.
negative, because they are
That's
also
true.
pretty much looking at things from a different perspective, and
Mm-hmm.
and you are looking at things from a different perspective. So did you have people kind of debating with you?
Definitely. I mean, first things first, trying to grow Tamil products means that I'm catering to only a small part of the population if you
Yes.
look at it locally. And even if you look at it in a global space, it's not, I mean, in India, they definitely have abundant of Tamil products for their children,
Yeah.
and also at a very, very different price factor. So that was definitely something that keeps coming back at me, like, are you sure you're going to be able to manage with such a small market? And even globally, it's like you say, okay, at least in Singapore, it's a language that they have to learn in school and things like that. But if you go abroad, it's not even compulsory. It's up to the parents' passion and the parents feeling the need to grow it. So
Yeah.
then they start bringing about, how are you going to upscale globally if there isn't going to be an interest globally? I mean, not so much interest, like they don't see the urgent need. It's not an urgency. Only those who have
Right.
like a super passion, who have moved out into other countries where they are not being offered, they don't find the materials, maybe they will find the need. But how many of people like that? They're more, they are immigrants in a different country. Their needs are more I need to survive today. I need to, it's more of a survival versus needs and
Right. So
want.
how
It's
did you
needs versus
convince
wants.
them? How did you convince them that no, right?
Usually unless they really, I mean, usually I don't really address it much, but when I do, my major part is, it's got to start somewhere. I'm not looking at this as something that's going to instantaneously become global and things like that. I would love to start somewhere. If I can help a few Tamil families make Tamil more fluent in their households, make their children feel more confident, that is a winning step for me.
That
So
is true.
yeah, we need to start somewhere. I'm anytime a family, like I mentioned, sometimes the families who are not even fully Tamil appreciate the products because that was a tool that they could use despite them not knowing the language. They could use that to teach their children.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so that was that's a win. That's a win. As long as there are families out there whose children and whom by themselves having a better fluency with Tamil, I win. So I'm good. I'm happy. That's a happy result for me. So I
Right.
don't let it grow from there. I'm not really looking at. I mean, the point here is how am I helping these families?
True. So
So
it
if
all
I don't do this, it's not going to reach them. So I'm doing
yes.
this.
So it all started with the passion, as I understand,
Yes.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
then it slowly took off, and of course, the commercials started playing a role when people started paying
Mm-hmm.
attention, probably.
Yes.
So, what has been your biggest satisfaction moment so far? I mean, if you remember, I'm sure there are many, but is there
Mm-hmm.
something that totally hits on the top of your mind the moment you think, "Yes, I did it, and I'm so excited that I did it"? An achievement, something.
First things first is the reviews I get from parents. Like sometimes I get a personalized email that goes something like, my son or my daughter was really struggling with learning Tamil, but your material has proven it to be so much easier and they are more comfortable with it. Just that heartfelt thanks from this parent who has been struggling to try to get their child to be a little bit more fluent so that they don't struggle so much in school.
Yes.
They will mention that either my materials that are on sale or the materials that I offer on my websites, one or the other, has helped them.
Hmm.
That note means the world to me. It finally tells me, okay, this is why I'm doing it. I'm doing this so that for these parents to see the benefits. Whether they send it to me privately or they post it publicly, that's not even the thing. It's like, okay, somebody is like, thank you so much for taking the time to create this, to bring
Right.
this to our children. So that is
So it
honestly
is
one of my best moments.
right. So I would say that it is the appreciation for all the hard
Yes,
work and all the
definitely.
effort that you have
Mm-hmm.
put in, which
Mm-hmm.
brings you to the next level to say, okay,
Yes.
I'm ready for more.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So tell me, Aisha,
Mhm.
2020 happened. Of course,
Yes, 2020
we
happened.
can all laugh about it because I think everything was blur, right? Everything
Yes,
was, and you
everything was one big chaos. I mean, it almost felt like we were in the middle of some movie and we opened our eyes and suddenly everything is back to normal. But no, nothing like
right.
that happened.
So there was, I'm sure, like every other entrepreneur that I've met,
Mm-hmm.
or even
Mm-hmm.
myself, at some
Yes.
point of time, you must be thinking, this is not happening to me. And I don't think I can survive. Then the other moment, it's like, of course I can survive. It's not going
Yeah.
to impact me. So those peaks and troughs, in terms of
Mm-hmm.
the mind, in terms of the, it must have happened with you as well.
Oh,
I
yes. Oh, yes, definitely.
so how did you come out of your lowest moments? What did you say to yourself?
Basically, I just said, okay, same thing, appreciation. Whose appreciation was I seeking for? They need my help. That was
Mm.
pretty much what I had to tell myself. I'm like, okay, you've done these stuff. You're not going to give up now. You made it this far. And there are still families you're helping because pandemic or not, still need this material. And especially so because most of my clients have younger children,
Mm.
which means when remote working started, families, roles, everything intermingled and got stuck at home,
Yes, true.
right? So the younger children, okay, older children, all right, they have schoolwork, they have something. What are these little ones who cannot leave the house?
Yeah, it's impossible.
It's
What
impossible. And I mean, I get parents will want one-on-one time and things like that, but now a parent's role has gone into multiple sides. They are not only a parent, they are also, if they're working, then their work has come to the house. They're being a daughter or a son to somebody has come. They have to tend to their parents to keep in touch with them, keep tabs on them, make sure they're okay. Their roles as sibling, everything just came into one place. So obviously they're going to need some kind of I need you to do this by yourself, darling, for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
So if in that phase the child is learning a few words, making meaningful use of the time, where the parent doesn't feel guilty, because I know many parents feel guilty for allowing the iPad or the TV to babysit their child. So why not make it educational for them a little bit? It's not, I mean, yes, it a lot of it is benefits if there's one-on-one with the child, but the audio capability and things, you can leave them for a short while. See, as even as adults, this is something we have never ever even imagined. Like I said, it's like we were in a movie. I still remember around New Year's Eve this last year, people used to think, okay, what if we go to a window and just scream Jumanji and everything goes back? I mean, I love the movie, so it really. I was like, you know what? I'm tempted, but no, I'm not going to do it.
For sure.
Yeah, but it was that unbelievable, not just for our generation and those younger, even our parents. Nobody, I don't think anyone has ever seen something this huge take over everyone's life in one split time period,
So just going back to those moments when it all started was Feb, March somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And by April, things had peaked off,
Yes.
and obviously the classes were shut down, and yours being
Correct.
also part of the educational, but the extracurricular sort of session must have been closed down. Ours was essential services, so we were kind of working every day of 2020.
Okay.
But again, we were worried about what's going to happen. So I understand that there were a lot of new things that you decided to do, making use of that time.
Yes.
It says a lot about you. So do share with us on how your thought process was.
So one of the things, like I said, one of my ways was, okay, how can I help? Like, what can I do to help? I know the world has gone into chaos. Of course, I have as well, but this is the time for me to say, what can I do to help? So the first immediate thing I did when everything started going down was providing free material on my website. Some of them were picture based, like posts here and there with basic words, the alphabet. So it's always been beginner Tamil. So it's like my major target market would be your pre-primary children, your nursery, your kindergarten, and your lower primary. So that the aim is to get them prepared for Tamil lessons when they go into lower primary, and get their foundation perfectly done, so that before they hit that primary 3, they feel more confident. So this was, although I do cater to the entire primary school, my focus is nursery to P2.
Right.
So I thought, what can I do to help these children so that they don't feel left behind next year when everything gets better, and they didn't have that free time to catch up as their seniors did. So initial thing, I just started making a few simple worksheets that the parents can print. It's like coloring work and a few matching, very simple activities, nothing that's so difficult that they can't handle on their own.
Right.
And so that was phase 1. Then phase 2, actually this was honestly something I've always wanted to do, but I used the pandemic to say this is time, was create educational materials, animated created materials on YouTube for them.
Okay,
so, yeah. So that was one. Actually, I was brand new at it when I started. It's always been, I want to do it. As
So where did you acquire those skills from? If
I started researching what softwares work, and then I do have a background in IT and computer as well. So I'm kind of good in techie stuff. So I picked them up rather well.
That helps.
So
everybody who's comfortable with technology, I think, totally survived 2020 in a very different.
So. That is very true. I don't think it would have been this easy. I mean, nothing was easy, but it would have been monumentally tougher if technology had not been there. I mean, this conversation may not have happened.
That too.
You need technology, exactly.
The whole Masti AVI platform is something that we established only last year in a more formal way. I mean, earlier there were these Facebook Lives, and there were, Insta Lives, which were happening one-off. But something like a virtual broadcast proper studio and doing large events is only something that we also
see. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So with 2020, I embarked on my first step. I started making animated videos that got posted up on YouTube, so for parents who need their child to sit and watch, let them hear the alphabet, let them hear words, let them see, the numbers, things like that. So that was my first step. And fortunately, around that time was when bilingual SG also were requesting for projects. So I started working on a few projects for them, one of which just got published on their portal early this year. So I was really happy because I was working on both side by side, and it was a huge learning curve, but I enjoyed every process of it because there was just so much color, and it was not just about technology, it was also about how can I creatively make it in a way that it attracts the child's attention, and they retain what they're learning. And we all know for languages, you need the child to not just see it, but to hear it, to practice it, to listen to repetitively, So these videos I'm hoping a great help for families out there, so they could. So that was one other major thing that I did. And the third thing was I started focusing more on creating more workbooks under my branding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which is great, because earlier, as you mentioned, that there was a mix of sourcing from other avenues and at the same time your own products. And because there was shipping, obviously logistics challenges.
There were a lot of logistical challenges. That was the first thing that I felt that kind of like brought me really down, because if imagine a physical store, suddenly half the aisles are empty because nothing came in. What possibly leaves, right?
But that is where you as an entrepreneur didn't look at it as empty shelves, but decided to fill it up with your own stuff, which is
Exactly. Yeah, that is pretty much so. I was like, okay, it has always been in the pipeline, but this was like the drive that didn't push it aside. I didn't postpone this any longer.
Always procrastinate. When you are too comfortable.
There's always something else to do. As an entrepreneur, we are always busy. Like some people will be like, oh, when you're free, better can you? And I'm like, I'm never free. You want, I'll do it for you now.
There's always a to-do list.
Exactly.
There is always something, because we're always multitasking.
That's right. That's true.
We think of clients, we think of products, we think of course, how to market ourselves.
Marketing, exactly.
We have to think of how we're going to pay the bills. We have to think of so many things together.
That's true. And even our marketing tactics had to change during the pandemic time, because people's daily activities were changing. The times that they were free, the times they were busy, everything had changed.
Yeah.
So, that was a lot to do.
Oh my God. I can only imagine the chaos in your mind. Yes. Did you ever get your 8 hours sleep? Tell me about that.
I do my best to. I'm one of the few people. I need my sleep to think. No, I need to sleep to think.
But you got 8 hours. You serious?
I almost. There are some days I did burn the midnight oil, but I'm one person. Here's the thing. As an entrepreneur, you have to watch our health. I know they always say, the entrepreneur works, I have this excess hours, etc. I agree. But however, if you're going to do it at the risk of your health, then your business is not going to sustain longer. So I learned that the hard way. Initially, yes, I was doing all sorts of your 3 hours sleep, your 4 hours sleep, yada, yada. But it started draining me down, and then I could not concentrate on the work, business and family and everything at the same time.
Because in my case, I would say it is not about the hours that you're in bed and closing your eyes. It's more about the mind currently and continuously running in the background.
Oh, that has happened. That is a different question altogether. I go to bed and I sleep, but there will be times I get ding ideas in my dreams, and I'm like, did I dream it or was it real? I've had those moments, definitely.
Totally. And as a creative person, and you are definitely into, I would say, a creative field. You're always thinking how to make things easier for your target audience, right? So as a creative person, we always get ideas in the most, I would say, in the most embarrassing places. Or the moments, right?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
It could be while in the shower. It could be while you have people sitting next to you and you're going to have a totally different discussion, and then you're in your zone.
That's true. It always comes in the weirdest moments, which is why my phone has an entire segment where I just go and I just jot it down really quickly, a simple notepad or anything. I have a few apps just for these, so that it gets off my mind and I can go back and work on it. And I always have a notebook and a pen on me. Like
so,
always,
it makes, I'm just, in these series, I tell you, there are entrepreneurs from large organizations,
Mm-hmm.
multinationals. There are people,
Yeah.
who established huge organizations,
Mm-hmm.
started small. There are people who have, which are representing startups. So there is a whole lot of range of
Definitely.
entrepreneurs. But I tell you, there are certain characteristics that I
Mm-hmm.
love matching, and every time somebody agrees, I say, "Aha, okay." So, Aisha, tell
Mm-hmm.
me. I mean, there's so much more to ask you, really. But
Oh.
you mentioned that there was a point where you decided to think from a customer's point of view, right? That this
Mm-hmm.
is what my client needs. So, where do
Yes.
you think you were wrong initially, or you were doing something different, and how did things change? Give me an example.
For instance, one thing the clients are looking forward to is having material that aligns more with the syllabus.
Right.
So as when I first started, yes, I did give it some look, but it wasn't exactly my priority. But my newer products started kind of featuring on that. At the same time, it doesn't kind of forget why I started this entire thing. See, my
Right.
intent was for the language to get more fluent. Yes,
Okay.
catering to the classroom needs is important. However, fluency goes beyond going in what the classroom requires, in the sense that it needs to be part of their lifestyle. They need to be talking in Tamil with family, with friends. They need to be able to
Yeah.
understand day-to-day things. So
Right.
without forgetting that aim, I also integrated a little bit of the style. I started aligning it with how the schools take care of it, how the schools. So I started talking to more teachers, getting their feedback. Saying, okay, how can I add your features into what I have been planning in mind,
Mm.
so that
Mm.
it's more, it reaches better, and they also feel more comfortable. So that's one of the ways that I align. But more importantly, what I mean by what the customers need is, in this changing times, what do they need? Because
Yes.
their needs have changed overnight, just like how everything has changed overnight. Because it was not a case of, okay, my child is 4, my child is 5, I know he or she is going to do Tamil in primary school, and I would like to start it for them. Yes,
Right.
that need is there, but however, a lot of urgencies came on their end, because like I said, all their roles came in one place. This was not like an extra activity that they were doing. This was, but they still have their worry, because they don't want their child to go in feeling less confident than the older child, for instance,
Of
or
course.
other children that they have seen. So their needs had changed. So the way I had to reach to help them fulfill this goal
Mm.
kind of had to change along with the pandemic and the effects that it had caused on these families. So it's
Mm.
not, so again, the need is the same, but more factors came in. So how do I address that so that they don't lose out on this need?
Right. So
Yeah.
now, if I was to ask you that, having, we're almost towards the end of the pandemic. Of course, today we have 4 community cases, which is a
Yeah.
different point, but we're almost, I mean, the most difficult and the challenging part is hopefully
Of
gone.
course. Thank you. Hopefully.
So, yeah. And do you think you've come out stronger? You think you were better off if the pandemic hadn't happened? When you
I
reflect
mean,
on it.
of course, we would have been better if the pandemic hadn't happened. But however, I do feel that I did take all this chaos and kind of converted them into opportunities and a bigger drive for me to bring these
Right.
businesses to places that may have taken less time, because I didn't see the urgency for it. You know what I mean? Like for instance, the YouTube thing. It's been in my mind for quite some time, but
True,
the
true.
fear of, okay, I need to learn all this new stuff. I need to be posting constantly, and I need to market them along with marketing my products, along with creating connections with my clients. Of
Right.
course, it seems overwhelming, but the thing is, the pandemic kind of put a halt, and it let you, like, okay, spread out everything, see what is happening now, what needs work, what can wait, what needs to be rushed right away. And it kind of gave a more like a direction, in the sense of, instead of just going like every day, duck, 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 and day in day out, day in day out, they kind of put a pause for you to think, like you say, take a step back and think,
Mm.
how can I make this help everyone and myself in the business ultimately, and not something that that is the beginning of a downfall. It should not be, because we worked this hard. If we've worked this hard, yes, the thing is, the pandemic happened, but it happened to everybody.
Absolutely. So you are no different. You're just
exactly.
Exactly. If I ask you this one question before I let you go, if my question to you is, just prioritize. Okay, what is more important?
Okay.
To an entrepreneur and maybe to yourself. I'm not sure if you want to think like that, but just three things that I'll give you. All right.
Okay.
So one is money. Two is initiative. Three is team, a good team. So out of these three, what do you think is the secret of success in what priority of an entrepreneur?
Initiative, team, and then money. For sure.
Initiative, team, and the money. So money is not the driving force here.
No, I've always said this. If money is your driving force, it's going to end soon. That's a short road.
Yeah.
Your goal you need to take the initiative so that the team that you have can back you up. True. You need a good team. See, one of the driving behind like how Tamil for Kids continuing is the fact that I did get a lot of support from family, from friends, from well-wishers, from people who kept assuring me that you're going to be fine, this is good, keep going, it's all good. From customers and clients who are extremely patient, because a lot of things happen so quickly. There were logistical issues that I had to address, and they were very kind and patient. I was a little worried. Oh my God, what are they going to say? I'm like nervously typing. I am so sorry. This is going to be a delay. But they were so patient and so understanding. And they're like, this is not your fault. You cannot have seen this happen. We totally understand. It's okay. We'll wait. Those kind of assuring words from everyone, and from family and friends who tell me, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna do it, just take it slow. If you need a break, take a break. If you need anything, ask. If you need feedback, ask anytime. So knowing that this support system is there is very important. But as an entrepreneur, I need to take the initiative so my team can back me up.
Lovely. That's
what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. And Aysha, what are your you've been in the business for a few years now, and of course there are people out there who've lost their jobs during the pandemic or otherwise who are struggling to kind of manage their businesses as well, because obviously a lot has changed in 2020. So tell me, what advice would you like to give to people out there?
First thing is, don't give up. And kind of take a step back and try to see what best you can do to ride this out, as well as, see if there's anything you can turn it an opportunity. And as I mentioned earlier, we all have to take care of our health, physical, mental, everything. Which is why I'm one of the few who actually will be like insisting, it doesn't matter what happened, you have to switch off, you have to go to bed. Of course, the mind will run, but that takes some training. That does take some training to say, like I say, the reason I keep this one the app on the phone to write my ideas, so it doesn't run in my head. So things like that. Do what works for you. And always never hesitate to talk to your support system. All of us have it, whether you want to, be outright about it or not. There will be somebody out there who's looking out for you. So, as individuals, we should look out for one another. And if you're feeling that you're lost, definitely speak up, because we are going through times that no one has ever done as far as we remember.
True.
Absolutely. So there is no. There's no manual. There's no manual for us how to deal with the pandemic. We are creating this manual right now. So, so best thing is take a step back and do what works, and, kind of ride this through. Hopefully things, and remember that things will fall back into place. Sometimes it may seem hopeless. You may be like, we are forever going to be like this. We all have that moment. But however, the thing is, this too shall pass. The world has seen, we may not have seen it, but the world has seen many ups and downs.
Lovely.
So so hopefully I'm right with this, but this too shall pass, and we shall all come stronger and better off.
Amen to that. And I must say, Aisha, when you just mentioned a manual, I was thinking in my mind, I hope the manual is as easy that even the kids can read it. It's going to be.
Well, our kids have seen it grow, have grown up to it. So I'm quite sure they're going to be much, much, much stronger growing up.
Awesome. So on that note, I think it's just been amazing, Aisha, because your journey has been not easy for sure. It may have started easy, but it definitely has not been easy, especially the last many months. And the way you have been smiling while talking about it is obviously giving you a kick, and you feel that you pretty much enjoyed the roller coaster ride, and you continue to enjoy it. But definitely with a huge hope that 21 is going to bring positivity and going to bring an end to all the chaos that has happened.
Of course, I can't wait for it to end.
And here's wishing you the best for obviously the future. What are your future plans? What is ABC's for kids gonna really do?
So for ABC, so Tamil for kids, of course, our quick plans would be, we are making more workbooks and more fun workbooks, more like activity books. Let's not call it workbooks.
Which even I can do, right? Because
yes, because a lot of them are bilingual, and so I'm hoping to build up on my set of workbooks and resources under the Tamil for Kids brand. I'm also working on adding more videos to our YouTube channel, which you can listen to and learn a lot easier because you can hear me speak.
Of course, I would love to do that. And I want you to tune into Radio Masti more often so that you can start speaking Hindi.
Definitely.
The next time I will speak Tamil and you will speak Hindi.
That will be wonderful. I do understand Hindi, but most of my Hindi comes from Hindi movies. So let Radio Masti add on to that, no problem.
That's perfect. So as I say thank you to you, how do I say thank you to you in Tamil? Please tell me before.
Nandri.
Nandri, of course. Yes. And how do you say thank you to me?
Dhanyavad.
See, you know it.
थोड़ा आती है.
थोड़ा नहीं, बहुत अच्छा आता है मुझे.
Wow.
So Nandri, Madam Aysha Iqbal, for being.
Dhanyavad, Renuka. Thank you so much, Renuka. It's been amazing.
Thank you. All right. On that note, guys, I think it's just been wonderful, especially, as I said, whenever I talk to entrepreneurs, the mindset pretty much remains the same. बहुत मजा आता है क्योंकि मुझे इतना पता होता है कि कहीं ना कहीं वही challenges, वही बातें दिमाग में आ रही हैं. And of course, as people are writing here, well done, Aisha. It was great listening to you. Yes, it certainly is. And how easy is it for a child to learn Tamil whose neither parents nor people around speak Tamil? Abdul, you've been a little late, but let me tell you, she did say that it is very, very easy. The way she has been working on her workbooks, which are obviously the audio files, as well as, just drawing and painting and teaching kids alphabets just by listening to it in the background by YouTube videos and all that. She's done a remarkable job there. And she's got many, many parents coming and saying that, you're doing a fantastic job. So I think you can try it out. Go to their website. It is ABCs of Tamil for Kids. And of course, this is Renuka saying that I'm going to see you tomorrow for Music Beyond Boundaries, jisme ki hum log gaane gaenge, and of course we'll have performers from different walks. We'll have we are having Hindi, Tamil, Bangla, as you know, and at the same time we're having an amazing surprise for you tomorrow lined up. So that's going to be Music Beyond Boundaries, guys, and Radio Masti 24/7 is obviously going to be 24/7 in your ears. So whenever you're feeling low, whenever you're feeling क्या करें, life में depression हो रहा है, you just got to go and download Radio Masti 24/7 and tune into it. And we promise we'll bring Masti to your lives. On that note, have a fantastic rest of the evening. I will see you tomorrow. Love you.
Make sure you add Masti to your lives. Download the app today and stay energized and connected on the go. Radio Masti 24/7 Live.